All right, day 3 of the May Content Challenge. Today I want to talk about coaching strategies. Um, so, to give you a little background on myself, I've recently figured out that I'm ADHD and autistic, and I kind of really put the pieces together through my writing. And I started writing about my experiences um, and how they affected me, and that really started opening up a lot of avenues that I started to explore. But as I was writing, one of the things that I realized was that I wasn't writing my own story. I was letting my brain react to the situations around me. But because I didn't really know what was going on, I wasn't taking control of my own story. So as I'm writing, I'm realizing all of this. And that really led me to figure out that the one thing I needed to do more than anything was I needed to start being in control of my own story. So that's leading me into the development of this coaching program, because I think it's very important that, um, when you're really trying to figure out what you want to get out of life, you need to remember that you're the one in control of your story. You have the ability to write your own story. And if you're not the one writing it, then you really need to do some reflection and figure out, okay, well, who is writing my story? And how do I get control of that back? Because I think that's one of the leading causes of like depression and other um, mental illnesses and things like that. It becomes very easy for us to allow others to write our stories for us. And so by figuring out how to learn to write your own story, you really start to take power back in your life, and you realize that you're not as trapped as you thought you were. So, if there's anything to take from this, figure out how to write your own story. And so that's what I apply to my coaching strategy. I say, okay, what is your story right now? Tell me the story of your journey through life. Tell me how you got to where we are now. And then we're going to take a look at, okay, well, what do you want your story to be? Where do you want to go from here? And it's really in seeing the difference between how you view where you've been and how you want to get to where you're going. Once we know where you want to go, it's much easier to kind of reframe your story up until now in a way that acts as a leaping off point for the story that you want to write. And so it's very important to realize that you do, in fact, have the power to write your own story. And so I highly recommend that you take some time and think about what you want your story to be. And if your story is not what you want it to be now, how can you get there? How can you be the one to start writing the story that you want to live? Figure out that power. Figure out how to change your life and start writing the story that you want. Because that's where happiness comes in. Happiness is very much a result, I think, of writing your own story, taking control of your life, and realizing how much free will you actually have and how much your choices impact your day-to-day life.